Action.
Hello, my name is Gavin,
My name is Lucas.
My name's Jasmine.
and this is our project, Gavin Jump.
My name is Gavin, and welcome to the demo part of this program. As you can see, this game is called Gavin Jump, and that is me. This is the title screen, so all you need to do, you press space to start, and I'll just do that real quick. So, as you can see, when I'm doing nothing, my character just jumps up and down, just like idly. This is currently what happens when I don't press anything at all. The entire goal of this game is very similar to the game Doodle Jump, is where you move left and to the right to jump on different platforms to just progress higher into the level. As you can see on the top left, the score is 35. The score will update as the level scrolls up, and the level scrolls automatically up whenever your character goes above like a certain value, like above like the middle of the screen. So now if I begin to move left, whether the only controls of this are either A and B, or your left arrow and right arrow for left and right. So if you can press those buttons, you can start playing the game. And as you can see, I died. So there are two ways of dying. You can either hit the enemy, as I just did there, or you can fall off the bottom of the map. The platforms don't remain after falling off the bottom of the map. So whenever a platform gets, let's say, eaten by the bottom of the screen, it disappears, and you're no longer able to jump on it. So the entire point of this game is to just progress higher and higher while keeping your character jumping from the platforms and making sure not to fall off the bottom. Anyway, I'll just continue playing for a bit. And as you can see, I died. And there's an end screen that displays your score, and yeah. Now, as far as the code for this goes, in the avatar portion of this code, a lot of the movement for the avatar itself and a lot of the logic, in fact, is stored within the move command of the avatar. It essentially just controls a velocity y, a dy, and a dx, which more or less change the y values and the x values and also the scroll values for every instance of the game loop. It also returns a scroll value, I forgot to mention. But basically, every part of the program just has every part of this move command just checks different instances of the game to see whether it's either colliding with a platform, falling down, jumping up, or like whether keys are being pressed to just update the position frame by frame. And now I'd like to pass it on to Lucas for some of the other parts of the code.
This part's going to have video feed because my section did not record audio very well, so I'm redoing it. But basically, this is the start of the game code, and we have all of our self dots set here at the beginning. We have everything draw on the game here. And once that happens, we go into our run one cycle, which basically says if the game is still running, it'll do all these things here where it sets everything equal and it starts randomly generating platforms. We have this section here, which basically sets as you go up the screen and your score increases at certain increments, it'll start randomly generating less and less platforms, essentially making the game harder. And then we have here our enemy group, which we have, I think the max is set to 2, so only 2 can be on the screen at the same time, and they just randomly generate the same way as the platforms. And then we have our losing code here, where if you go below the screen, the game says it's over, and if you get hit by an enemy, your health goes to 0, and the game is over. Once that happens, we go to the game done code here, basically, which sets all of our fonts and all of our text that we need. And once the game is over, if your score was below a certain threshold, which we just made the same threshold to be where this game stops getting harder. So basically, we just made that as the winning screen. So if you're below that score, we have this section here, which will display. And if you're above 1600, it will display this section here. And once you exit this loop by pressing the spacebar, which we have specified, it will reset everything to 0, and restart the game. And now I'll pass it to Jasmine, and she'll talk about main and the scoreboard.
Yeah, so for main, pretty much like running the game, while it's start screen, it shows pretty much how the screen would look like as in the code. Like we have like press space to start, Gavin Jump. There's like text involved, and also just checking when the player will hit that space to start the game. Pretty much, if they don't start the game, then they can simply exit out. It's also just displaying pretty much, like once they start, it displays pretty much all of the game's like mechanics and such onto the game and when they're playing. And so while they're playing, going to scoreboard, pretty much, we have here the scoreboard, which pretty much counts the score as the player goes up. Like the higher they get, the score would pretty much add on to each other, as if shown in the increment score. So it will keep on adding, and it would just set the max or the highest amount as the score. And so once they die, that would be saved, and you can see your final score pretty much inside game. Once you die, pretty much there's like it shows the score that was saved, and then you can just repeat the game. So now we also have enemies as well. So inside enemies, we pretty much have, as shown in the gameplay, there was enemies that go side by side, and if you hit them, you pretty much lose the game, and your score is saved for that. So inside the update, there's pretty much just until they hit the side of the screen, that's when they move to the other side. And that's pretty much it for enemies.
Also, I forgot to add this, but we think we should get an A on this project. We added everything we said we would add in our project proposal, plus a couple extra features, so we totally think that's a fair grade for this project, and we hope you enjoy it.